That's what I put, like, the characters I don't like the most. So the ones that are not playable, I don't know why they put them in the game. We're gonna put the cow in from season 1, the dog in from season 2, but we're gonna keep Rose here. We're actually gonna rank Rose first because now that, like I said before, it's a not playable character. But Rose was a fantastic companion for Marlin slash Clementine. Obviously Clementine has a history of dogs where the last dog she was with, which was the season 2 dog, bit her for food. But other than that, Rose protected Clem once when she got to know Clem, she protected her and kept her safe, kept the whole school safe. So for that, Rose will get for me. I know it's a stump, but C. Obviously, not a playable character. I agree, but she did do everything to protect the school and protect her family and her friends. All right, so start off with season 1. Obviously, I just dumped them anywhere, so like it don't matter what one I select from season 1. And obviously, the 400-day characters are here as well. We'll rank them too. So the first one we have, I'm just gonna pick random ones for season 1, and we'll just go from there. So season 1, we got Ben. So Ben wasn't the greatest character. Obviously, there's some Ben fans, some Ben fans. Am I a Ben fan? Slash yes, slash no. I mean, he wasn't the smartest kid in the world. He made dumb decisions that got Katja and Duck killed, and obviously Kenny hated that for him. And then obviously wished he was dead, and Kenny pretty much got his wish, you know? He fell from the belt. So there's 2 scenarios you could do in the game. 1, you can, let go of Duck not Duck, Ben in the school or when they're climbing out of, Crawford, the Crawford building. You can get that ending where, Kenny calls you over and you look at him, and then he goes back down to the ladder. Or you can get the one where which I got my playthrough, where, obviously you guys jump from building to building, and then he falls and gets impaled by the beam of the, thing that's holding the thing up, the balcony, whatever it's called. And obviously Kenny puts him out of his misery. So I felt bad for the kid, but obviously he made some mistakes, got this group more in trouble than it has to be. Was he a great character? No, but obviously he was a teenager. He was scared. He made mistakes, but since he was a teenager and he was scared, I'm gonna put him in C tier with Rose. Next one, we'll go with a cameo character, Glenn. So Glenn was a obviously I watched the show, very good character in the show, a very loved character in the show. Obviously, spoiler alert, Negan kills him in one of the seasons. I can't remember what season it was. I never finished The Walking Dead. I stopped at a certain season once I figured out or watched that they're not surviving anymore. Yeah, sorry. I'm not used to, like, doing these commentaries, that they're not surviving anymore, that, they're just fighting communities against each other. But Glenn was a cameo character. Glenn obviously left after we got to the hotel. He helped us get to the hotel. Obviously, he went there to get supplies, ran into a character, tried to save that character, but that character obviously died and well, KYS'd herself. And then eventually that was it. And then Glenn says he has to go back to Atlanta to figure out or see if friends are still there. Obviously, do we know if that's tailored to the actual show? But I don't think it is. This is a different timeline. Like they conspiracy theories that Lee's been dead for 20 plus years already. But we're gonna put I don't know where they're at, but great. He was a great character to have in the game. Pretty funny at some lines, but very enjoyable. Whatever. Hopefully we see him in a future Walking Dead game if they make another one. That's if Telltale has the rights for it again. Let's go with a 400 days character. Let's go with Wyatt. So obviously Wyatt was part of the car with Eddie. Obviously he left the scene before Eddie could come back because what's his face showed up because I guess he I think this guy's Nick. He was the one that was shooting at them, so, like, they don't know if they made it out alive, or is it Nate? Yep, it's Nate. I have the character list pulled up here for me. So, Nate obviously was the one shooting at them, as you guys can see during the gameplay and whatnot. You It's all picked to, like, pieced together. Like, when Nick or Nate, sorry, finds Russell, and Russell sees Carly's dead body or Doug's dead body in the show in the game. But obviously, he seemed to be a pretty chill character in the when I played it in 400 Days. Obviously, he did go to Carver's camp, who was kind of a soldier. I didn't really have an issue with him. I don't think he was really mean to Clementine or anybody. But really, there's no backstory on him. And obviously, he stayed when we watch like the back of see episode 3 where they all escape. They're fighting on Carver's camp. So do we most and if you pick the weird ending, which I find weird, that Clementine goes with what's her face? I can't remember her name, but I'll probably have it up on the list here. But if she Clementine goes with her, they go back to Richmond. Not Richmond, Carver's camp. I'm getting areas. And nobody's there besides Carver's dead body. So we're gonna assume he wasn't a terrible character. I'll give him a D tier, but since we don't know where his whereabouts are, we're gonna put. I should make a dead tier to be honest. Here, we'll do. Should we do that? Well, I'm not gonna put him in rot. So add. Put that back down the bottom. We'll add this one. Row below. Go put that down there. There's that. I know I should have done this before, but sometimes I get ideas in my head. I'll just add them in right quick. Oh, I almost touched Glenn Wyatt. So we're gonna assume that he's dead, because obviously after the camp, there's nobody left. Everybody is gone. And I got that ending when I was exploring the endings back years ago when I had it on PS3. Let's go with another 400 Days character. Let's go with Vince. So Vince obviously killed somebody. That's when he got caught in the police bus with do. I don't know if they'll pop up here with not Merc. Hmm. I don't know if they'll pop up here because I'm scrolling through and it does not seem to show the characters. So you got Vince, Russell, Shelly, Becca, Bonnie, Eddie, Wyatt. What's 5? Oh, yeah, you don't have these prisoner guys in here. So I'm gonna have to actually go back and look to see what these names were of these prisoners here so I can obviously review their names. But Vince was on the bus, obviously, and this was day 1 of the breakout. So like Lee was definitely still in the police car when these guys were sitting in the bus on the highway. Obviously, uh, they were trying to just sit there while the bus was stuck. And one of the criminals on the bus killed somebody, and one of the cops shot him in the head. But the guy that was choked to death came back as a walker. And funny enough, the cop just leaves them. So I check my stats. Yeah, there you go. So one of the players is Justin, if I'm being mistaken, but oh well. Oh fuck. It's okay. I'll just say prisoner 1 and prisoner 2. Because I'm not gonna remember who is what. and whatnot, and they don't show the prisoners on that page. Because I'm looking up the definitive edition of The Walking Dead, which I do have, by the way. But Vince, he was also there too. He didn't really bother Clementine. I don't believe, I can't remember, but he never really bothered Clementine in season two. And like Wyatt, we don't know his whereabouts. He's probably dead too. Because, like I said, they go back to the camp and there's nobody there. Like, nobody. All right. So, another character that we were concerned about his whereabouts, but we found out his whereabouts later on in this episodes. We're going to look at Chuck from season one. I like Chuck. I thought Chuck was pretty cool. He had a guitar. He chilled in in the train trailer. He knew what to do and whatnot. Protected Clementine too when Ben ran off on her. But sadly, Chuck tried to hide and then died. But we obviously didn't know a whole lot about Chuck. Hopefully, we wish he probably would stay alive longer so we get to know him, maybe. But other than that, hmm, really nothing there for him. I'm gonna put him at the D tier because obviously we didn't really get to know Chuck a whole lot. Even when you interact with him, you didn't really know a whole lot. All right. So another character we're gonna do from 400 Days is Russell. So Russell was hitchhiking to go find his grandmother, go to his grandmother's house when he stumbled upon uh Nate. I think that's what his name is. Nate, yeah. I'm scrolling down right now. I believe it's Nate. What's Stranger? Oh yeah, Stranger character. I'm surprised he's not here. Yeah, so Nate, comes upon Nate, who Nate kind of be's weird with Russell. Russell's all like innocent and like he helps him a bit because these guys were shooting at them and whatnot. But Russell, sorry. You have to choose between Russell staying and help Nate murder these old people. But Russell eventually leaves. Obviously, Nate shoots them. But like Vince and Wyatt, we don't know. We know that he's probably dead after the aftermath of the camp, after all the walkers come by. So most likely Russell is dead. Now this is Becca. Becca is Shelly's sister. So obviously these two we're actually gonna do both of them together because they're technically a duo together. So we're gonna move her over too. But we don't see them afterwards, after the aftermath, but they were in a camp with a strict leader that put more rules on the camp as somebody came into their camp and tried to steal stuff off of them. You get the choice between killing them or letting them go. I think if you let them go, those people come back and raid their camp, or stuff changes and whatnot. Like stuff goes more stricter, and you get to choose between killing a friend of theirs who was trying to leave but failed successfully. But you do get to see them either leave or you killed a friend. But like Wyatt, Vince, and Russell, they're dead. They're most likely dead from the camp getting overrun by the walkers. So they're going to be presumed dead. All right. So that's enough of the 408 characters because we're going to leave these two here because I'm going to tell you guys something after these ones here. Well, Bonnie, you see Bonnie in season two. So she's technically a season two character as well as season one. All right, we're gonna go to, I believe this is Bernadette. Oh, Brenda, sorry. We're gonna go to Brenda of the dairy farm. Nice lady. Like, if I never seen this common with a house of cannibals, but obviously they tried to capture the wrong people, basically. Drink right here. They messed with the wrong camp. They uh captured the wrong people. Obviously, they had plans. They got out. They killed every one of them. Well, you get to choose if you want to leave Danny to live or Danny to die, or you kill Danny. But everybody presumes the farm's dead. Like they all died from the walkers and whatnot. So for Brenda, how evil she is, I hope that she rots. She definitely did getting killed by what's this guy's name? You gotta forget. Once I see the name, that's when I'm like, oh, bingo, it's that person's name. Andy. So once she gets killed by Andy, because Andy becomes a walker after they cut off his legs. Now we're gonna move on to her sons, which is Danny and Andy. So both of them, same reason. They trick you into their camp, or they trick you to come over. Not all your people, at least some of them. They take and fucking- not Sean. No, it's not Sean. Fuck. Oh, it's Mark. Why am I thinking it's Andy? It's Mark. Yep. So they kill, like, take Mark's legs. They kill him. Well, obviously, he comes to his wounds and he instantly dies, but kills Brenda in the process. Now we're gonna move on to these two 400-day prisoners. One of them escapes with Vince, but then Vince splits from them. We don't know their whereabouts, so I don't know if they're dead or alive. But I know one of them was a child toucher. I know that for a fact. All right, so we're almost done season one. We're halfway there. So the next one is Doug. So you got two options. You either get to save Doug or save Carly. And then if you save Doug, I believe like he helps build like alarms and stuff for the fence. Like if somebody tries to get in, they go off or something like that. Carly doesn't do that because she's not a geek or anything like Doug. But Carly does have feelings for Lee, as you guys see later on in one of the episodes. But in the end, both her or Doug die. Carly accuses them, and then she just shoots them. But in the end, Doug was a very good character, very helpful character. He figured out how to change like the commands on the TVs to turn it up. So for the first one here, Doug will go in the A tier. Doug was a very helpful character. I love Doug as a character. I wish he had stayed around longer, but like the game gave us the first choice of the game. Well, not really, because Duck or Sean was the first choice technically, but the real main choice to figure out if somebody was going to live or die. The next one, which you get to choose, Carly. The Carly has a love interest in Lee. If you save her, like she gives him a kiss and whatnot, and then like she vouches for Lee, even though she's a reporter. Knew Lee was a killer, even though he killed a guy that was sleeping with his wife. But she wasn't an all bad character. She wasn't. She didn't deserve to die by Lily. I wish she would have stayed longer and maybe died, or maybe died with Lee or something. I don't know. But she was a fabulous character. Cut off too soon in the season. She's going to be the first one to go in the S tier. Now, let's move on to Duck. I'm going to move Duck to the. I'm going to put him in the D tier for Duck. Duck was the annoying character in the group. I did not enjoy Duck. He was too annoying. Obviously, he was kind of stupid, in my opinion. Kenny said he's stupid, dumber than a bag of rocks or something like that. Kenny would say, but he had a lot of played. He smiled a lot as a kid, though, which is good. Which is something Clementine needed as a kid growing up in The Walking Dead. She needed somebody to have a smile still, and a kid her own age to play with. Obviously, Duck never shut up. Duck never understood the word no almost the whole time. But other than that, Duck, I didn't have. I found him annoying, but he was a pretty funny character. The duck will go in the D tier. All right, the next one is Mark. It's hard to say for Mark because obviously he died. We only know him in one episode, so there's really not much I could say. Obviously, he had experience if he was in the he said he was in a military base, locked up. So like he did have some knowledge. He did help Lee and stuff get that teacher out. So it's hard to say, but I'm gonna put Mark in I'm gonna put Mark in the C tier because Mark was actually a very good character for Lee. He helped Lee. He knew everything about the walkers. He knew almost legit everything to do in situations. But sucks that he got died to cannibalism. All right, let's move on to Katya. Katya was a very nice character, very nice to Lee, even when Lee told her about everything. Supported Lee when she took on this child that he didn't know and helped this child survive. Survive for a long time too. Like protected her, guided her, showed her everything because he knew there was going to be a time where he wasn't going to be there. So Katya, you're going to get the A tier because you're such a fabulous character to Lee and a very good mother to Duck and a very good wife to Kenny. Obviously, you didn't want to see your son go into pain, so you decided to end yourself, basically. But I know, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, she wouldn't be able to handle the stress of, losing her son, basically. Next one we're gonna move on is to Larry. Get fucked, Larry. I did not like Larry. I hated Larry. Larry was that character I did not like the most in this game. I was happy when he died. I was happy there was a way to kill him. Obviously, you could help what's her face? Lily try to revive him, but apparently I guess there is conspiracy that he was alive after you saved him, but I doubt there was. So I would always go with Kenny. I never distrusted Kenny. I would always agree everything with Kenny. So I hope he rots. That's all I gotta say. Nick. Or Nate, sorry. Rot. He did bad things. He asked Russell weird questions about like some girl in Russell's old camp. Killed those old couple. He attacked people. Like he just didn't have a care in the world if he lived or died. So that's why he's going in there. I despise him. Don't like him. Hope he rots. We're gonna go with Bree. Uh, we didn't really know Bree a whole lot. She wasn't really that much of a interesting character. We didn't really know much of a backstory. You could ask her like millions of questions and whatnot, but she kind of keeps to herself. And if you like rub off the wrong way on Vernon, she does not like you whatsoever. So she's gonna go in the D tier. And we're gonna go with her buddy, Vernon. Obviously, they're part of like a cancer survivor group. They're hiding from Crawford, but obviously Crawford fell from something. Probably the walkers took taken over. But Vernon wasn't a bad guy. He knew where everything was. He knew how to get there and what sewers to take. But unfortunately, if you bring everybody or leave one person behind, two people behind, or everybody doesn't go with you, um, they take the boat. They instantly take the boat either way. They jump everybody and take the boat. And obviously, because of that, I didn't like that. But obviously, when you hear in the 400 days, um, I believe it's Irene or Jolene, one of the two. In the no, that's not it. I believe one of the cancer survivors uh say that or no, yes, in one of the 400 days, I believe it was Shelley. They mentioned that we stole the boat from these people. They were dumb enough to leave the boat unattended, and but Vernon died. So happy that he was dead. It sucked the way it is, but and he also wanted to take Clementine away too, which I did not like. So hope they rot. Molly, Molly was a great character. I actually liked Molly. Like, she helped Lee even though she didn't really want to at first, but then saw that there was something with this group and saw that there's a boat. So she helped them, but then realized that couldn't leave home. But we don't know where her whereabouts are, and I hope everything's fine with her and whatever she's been doing. Sucks that we found out that they Richmond was going to get rid of her sister because her sister had like diabetes or something. And obviously, Crawford saw if they saw weakness, you were not staying with this group. They were going to legit kick you out. So they're legit going to kick you out, basically. So Molly will go in. I don't know where they're at, but great. But she's a great character. All right, next one is Omid. We'll do Omid first. Omid was a very good character. I enjoyed Omid. He was funny. He risked it all to try to save everybody. He helped Lee find Clementine or try to find Clementine, but obviously, due to the limits, due to the limits for them, because Krista was pregnant, that Lee went the rest by himself, but told them to go find Clementine if she gets out. So he wasn't a bad character. He'll be the first character in the B category. Now, Krista. So Krista kind of black sheep Clementine, like didn't like Clementine because she thinks Clementine did it, accidentally made it like she killed Omid, which wasn't her fault. This older girl came into the bathroom, like the older girl could have overthrown her and taken the gun. So like Krista shouldn't be mad at that. But she kept Lee's word and protected Clementine. That's what she did. She kept the words that Lee told her, and that would be to keep Clementine safe. So she'll go in the A tier. The last one, I saved the best for last for season one. Lee. Lee was my favorite character. I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. Lee is my favorite character. Lee, like, obviously was scared, but he saw something wrong with this town, knew something was going bad. Some weird zombies started popping up out of nowhere and found a little girl and said, I need to protect this little girl and get her to her family. And that's what he did. He got her somewhere where her family was located. Unfortunately, her parents were already become walkers, but he did everything to protect this little girl, and he ended up getting bit by it for it. But he did everything to protect this little girl and get this little girl back for him. And obviously, Lee will go in the god tier. Like Lee will always be that character. Like you can never say Lee was a shitty character. You always have something to say about good for Lee. All right, now my thing is like freezing up because I have stupid ad blocker or blocker ad blocker. All right, so that's season one. We're all done season one. So now we are on season two. So we're gonna start season two off. I gotta move this guy out of the way. So I'm gonna move down here. Or actually, I'll put them here. All right, Bonnie. So Bonnie is. We don't know if she's alive or dead. We don't know if she's alive or dead because obviously at during when they were leaving Carver's camp after it got overthrown by walkers. We don't. She was with the group for a while, but saw how crazy Kenny was. But Kenny was only like fuming off the pain because he lost Sarita. He lost his eye. What Carver did. and then you're trying to leave with Arvo and let's see what this other guy's name is. Mike? Yep, with Mike. That's what she was trying to do, leave with them. But obviously things happened. They checked and Bonnie ran away, so we don't know if Bonnie's alive or dead. So we're gonna put her in the I don't know if they're dead or alive tier. All right, so let's move on to who's this guy here? All right, next guy, Walter. So Walter was a very nice character. I really liked Walter. He seemed happy. He seemed like nothing really bothered him until you killed his friend, which obviously Nick did that. Trigger happy, shot his friend and killed him. But there is a way. So there was a scenario where you get Walter to not shoot Nick, but there is a scene where he does shoot Nick. But Walter is a nice person. Sucks that we didn't really know him a whole lot, but ends up dying by Carver because Carver is trying to control everybody here, but doesn't work. So we're gonna put him in the we'll put him in the D category. Now Alvin. So this is well, it is shown that it is not AJ's actual father because it is technically Carver's child, as they say. But Alvin, I loved Alvin. I thought he was a very nice character. Stood up for Clementine. Like there is a scene where you can talk to him at the window and he gives you like a juice box or something and some like lightly bandages, but not fully. He knew he couldn't help you. He knew he'd get in trouble if he did. Ooh. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to this commentary stuff, but a very lovable character. I loved him. I thought he was a very good character. It would have been a proud father of AJ, but Tyler Carver killed him. So we're going to put him in the A category. Carlos. Carlos is so Carlos seemed to be a dickhead at first. Obviously, he's doing it to protect his group. Left a defenseless little girl in a barn to see if she's gonna die or something. But if you're a doctor, you should know what a walker bite compared to a dog bite looks like. Carlos, afterwards, he got along with him. He got along with his daughter. He was fine. He helped people, but in the end, he ended up dying. Uh, by I believe Walkers or Carver. I can't remember. I think it's Walkers, but not a terrible character. He'll go in the B tier. Carver, terrible person. He killed innocent people for no reason. He killed Alvin. He killed Walter, and he killed lots of people, basically from the group. And I hope he rots in hell for it. Reggie. Reggie, you didn't really know much about him. He was a very nice character, but pretty much a suck up to Carver because he obviously helped the rest of them escape. But obviously, he paid the price with it by getting bit and then uh, got pushed over the ledge by Carver. And he's a pretty odd character. I'm gonna put him in the D tier. I didn't really like him. He wasn't my favorite. Now this next guy, what's his name? Now I'm gonna try to see if I can find him in the. That's his name, Troy. So Troy, he's a piece of shit. He bullied Clementine. He hurt Clementine. He hurt anybody basically. But I do like though that Jane tricked him and he ended up getting his dick shot off. And I'm watching the things right now where it shows him like bullying Clementine. Next one, Arvo. He was a mean character. He did have a group, but we don't know too. Like Bonnie and like these prisoners. We don't know if they're dead or alive. Like they may have gotten away. He was a pretty bad character. I didn't like him. He hated everybody. He tried to kill Clementine. So obviously he would go and don't know if they're dead or alive, but he's gonna go here. Hope they rot. Next one. This one is what's his name? I can't remember. Luke. We're gonna talk about Luke. Luke is my favorite. I like Luke out of all of them in The Walking Dead for season 2. Luke helped Clementine. Luke wanted to help Clementine so bad, and he did. He ended up helping Clementine survive. Obviously, he meets his demise by getting falling through the ice and not living. But obviously, he saved Clementine. Clementine started to pay him back and save him, but it was already too late. And then this guy is, I know I said his name, Mike. So let's talk about Mike. We don't really know about Mike besides he hated Kenny. We don't know though if he's dead or alive because he escaped with Arvo, Bonnie too, but we don't know if Bonnie went with them or ran off on her own. They want to escape, and I guess the way he looks in this picture here, plus the one on my screen, he got his ear taken off and a bunch of other stuff wrong with him, probably from what's his face, Carver and stuff like that, as we would assume. Now, let's move on to Nate. I believe this is Nate. No, it's Nick. I keep getting names mixed up. So sorry, guys. But Nick. Nick was a interesting character. He didn't like Clementine at the start because obviously she thought she was bitten. So he was kind of trigger happy. Obviously, Clementine wore it all off, took and apologized, and saying, "Hey, it's not your fault. I would have done the same thing or something like that." She understood that he was scared, and obviously he had family members that died through The Walking Dead or through zombies. Obviously, he makes mistakes. He got people killed, and obviously we see his demise later on too. Either if it's the hands of Walter, or he turns into a zombie. Honestly, he wasn't a terrible character. He'll go in the B tier. Pete. Pete was always wise. He knew what would if stuff went wrong, he would help. He tried to fix situations. He was a very helpful person. And Pete's Nick's uncle. Sorry, guys. Nick's uncle, which he wanted to make things right and wish and pay his mother's respects by obviously protecting him and keeping him safe. But obviously, he died very early on in episode 1 or in episode 2. You guys can be in like a truck or something. Rebecca. So Rebecca hated our guts, hated us as soon as we walked in the camp. Like, could not bear us whatsoever. But after that, she came to a liking with us. She knew she had to because we were the only ones there for her after Alvin died. And then agreed to the name Alvin Jr. when obviously she gave birth to AJ and told Clementine to protect AJ if something goes wrong. And she did. She took it on her will to become Lee, basically, and protect AJ at all costs. So she wasn't a shitty character. So that tells you that Javier is still alive. You know, people said Javier wants to leave that place. Do I blame him? Yeah, not really. If it was a war zone, I probably would want to leave too. Now, Mariana. We didn't really know much about Mariana. I gotta put her in the C tier because we didn't really know much about her. Or actually, we'll put her in the D tier next to her brother because we didn't really know much about her. Other than she liked candy bars and listened to music. We're gonna skip her because I'm not too sure what to talk about for her. Now, what's this guy's name? Nope. Max. So you got Max here that kind of had a history with Javier that didn't really like Javier. And like obviously he didn't know that it was David's brother, obviously. But Conrad did tell the truth about everything and told everybody. So that he's gonna move up to a D tier for me. Because or actually, yeah, D tier. Because he told the truth, he didn't lie about it, and he paid whatever consequences he got, basically. Next up, Jesus. As the show, I like Jesus in the show. I like Jesus. He's very funny in the show. He's very funny in the game as well. Nice what you might call it, crossover with the game slash the show, even though the show is in a different universe or timeline or whatever it is. But it's very funny to have a character from the movie. I remember seeing Jesus for the first time. I was like, "Is this guy Jesus?" And then he said his name is Paul, but people call him Jesus. And obviously, he brought his people back to help with this community, basically, help get Richmond back. All right. I'm just looking down here, basically. Dr. Lingard. So Lingard was the one that gets high all the time and like he hated his life and he wanted Javier to kill him or Clementine could kill him. But if you don't, you end up finding out that you end up getting what you wanted in the end, where he tells where AJ is and AJ's alive and whatnot. Obviously, he's part of the New Frontier, so he didn't want to like use all their medicine and whatnot when the New Frontier was just a base where there's like barely any protection. But in my opinion, I actually liked Lingard after he told Clementine where AJ was, so he'll go up in the C tier. Javier. I liked Javier. Did I like him more than Lee? No. Obviously, Lee will hold a special place in my heart, but Javier was a very good character in season three. Even though there wasn't much to do in season three, like we were introduced to new characters, we didn't know much of their backstories, we didn't know how long they've been on the road. We didn't know what was to come of him later on, but we know he's alive. And I hope we see him in like season five if Skybound or Telltale decide to release a season five and Javier's there and he runs into Clementine again. Ava. I'm gonna say Ava is like Trip. Did I put Trip here? No, I didn't. Where the fuck did I put Trip? Oh, there's Trip. Like Trip. Like she knew her stuff. She helped us wanting to get out when we needed to. Like obviously David's right hand man. And she helped, but didn't really do a whole lot after that. She ended up getting killed too by either Joan or being so the scene where they're crossing the bridge with that walker in the car, the walker comes out of the car and attacks her and pushes her off the bridge. So I'm gonna give her the S tier. This is Badger, piece of shit. Killed innocent people. And we do get a chance to kill him or not. Do I kill him? Not really, no. Yeah, it's Paul, but my friends call me Jesus. David. Or yeah, that's David. He was a hated character too. Like he just looked out for his family. He did the stupid things. He didn't think. He just did things that people wouldn't do. He killed Gabe too. I thought I did the right ending, and Gabe survived, but no, it was already too late. So he died, and then Gabe died after that. Oh, why is there two different ones here? I don't know who this guy is. I know he's part of their group, but I can't remember what his name is. But we're gonna say dead. And then this guy is Max. No, does it show him in this game? Probably not. Whatever his name is. Yeah, it does not show. But we don't know about his whereabouts because he, uh, at the end of the episode, the season, he vanishes. We don't know where he's at. But whatever happens, hopefully he's gone and never comes back. Apparently, he's still in Richmond. He's working under Javier. That's what I've heard before. Then other things, I don't know, but we can't know for sure. Conrad, or put dead, because I did not. Well, actually, we'll put him in the D tier. I didn't like Conrad. I didn't because he tried to use Clementine as like a money grab. Like, oh, she's part of the New Frontier. We could do no. I didn't like Conrad because he lost it after his girlfriend died. But Javier did what he told him to, and he did. All right, Joan, garbage, piece of shit, because she killed innocent people. She got told people to raid their camps and killed everybody, and like nobody lived. Everybody just died. Like there's no need for it. Next one, Kenny. I said Kenny for season three because that's the last time you see him is season three. Kenny was a very good character. I actually enjoyed Kenny. He was another lead for Clementine. Showed Clementine everything. Wants to show AJ so much things, but obviously, with what happened in the car crash where he got paralyzed and couldn't walk, it's a shitty thing. But Kenny was always a good character to Clementine. Always good to her. Showed her the right things. Taught her well too, as Lee wanted to. So rip Kenny. Now we're on to season four. So I saved Eddie for season four because he's dead. Because in the farm, the ranch scene, the guy that you ask to where AJ is or the nursery, it's him. It's Eddie. For years, people thought Eddie is dead until I watched my footage back and I realized that's Eddie from 400 Days. But Eddie is confirmed dead. They killed him off in the show or the game, sorry, at the end. But there you go, Wyatt. Now you're with your buddy. Now we're on. Oh, I don't know why I'm saying it again. I would say we're on season four now. All right, let's go to Brody. I actually liked Brody because, like, she was nice to Clem. Obviously, she has. Obviously, they were in that school for, like, the children that wouldn't listen or stuff like that. But obviously, she helped Marlon trade uh Minnie and Sophie into Lily and the Raiders. So that's why she's staying up in the D tier. And we obviously, and if we choose fishing, we help her get her and Violet on the same page and starting to like each other. Minnie. Uh I would say that one. Minnie, I did not like Minnie because she was tricked by Lily in her mind games. She killed her own sister because I guess like because her sister was saying this is not a place for them. They tried to escape, and I guess when her back was turned, she killed her. Something like that. But we know the little bit of the story. We don't know the full story of what happened. Obviously, Lily could have like tricked everyone and whatnot, but we don't know. Marlon, Marlon, I did like Marlon at first when I first played the game. When I first played the game during COVID, I actually enjoyed Marlon. Marlon was a nice character. He knew his stuff. He knew how to protect the school. He needed a little bit of help. We helped him, but then tried to blame everything on us. That's kind of a dick move. So Marlon, I hope you're right. And you did die by a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old. Mitch. I thought Mitch's character was interesting. Like a person that warm up to you at some point and then obviously didn't like you at first. Obviously, he didn't like Clementine at first, but then grew to like Clementine because Clementine had used his bombs as the idea for their traps and helped defend the school. But I did like Mitch. I thought Mitch was an interesting character. We're gonna put him in the C tier. Lily. Honestly, I thought Lily died in season one. I really did thought she died in season one. I didn't think she lived. I thought she died. But then once I see her the first time, I my reaction was like, what the fuck? How is she alive? You know, being gone for how many years and not being seen since season one, episode 3. Like that's pretty crazy in my opinion. Abel, or actually, no, I hope he rots, but dead. Because obviously Abel was part of Lily's group, but at the end, you feel for Abel because Abel does not want to die. He didn't picture this how he went out. Obviously, you had two options. He either walks away with the food or you push him out the window. Me, I push him out the fucking window. But then you capture him because you're trying to find out where Lily's camp is, and you do, but you have to promise him that you would kill him afterwards because he did not want to turn into one of those things, which you can choose to kill him or not kill him. And you get to choose two between torturing him or not torturing him. The only thing I did was put out his cigarette. Now, Willie is a funny character. I actually like Willie, but I think Willie has a tantrum, like a temper, because he does punch a sim earlier on. But obviously, him and Mitch were best friends. I actually like Willie when he says the line why he gets sent to the school, even though it's not the real reason why he went to school, this school, chronic masturbation. I don't know if I don't know if his character will pop up. I thought that was hilarious when I heard that the first time. I laughed a little bit when I seen it this probably the fourth time I played this one because obviously I did the love story between Clem and Lewis. Seconds, please. Chronic masturbation. But he's a nice character. He is funny. I liked him. So he's gonna move up to the B tier. Violet. So Violet took a while to warm up to because obviously you could have a love story between her and Lewis, but she took a while to warm up to. Like obviously you're trying to do the love story between Lewis, but it does tell you have to give compliments to her too. And you can at some points when obviously you're not doing the Lewis part. And I gave her some compliments too. Like when you go fishing with her, you fix the relationship between her and Brody and try to make her not much more of like a bitch she is. But I do like though that she came around and realized what Clem was doing, so she goes in the C tier. A sim. We'll put a sim in the C tier because we don't really much know about a sim because we know that he's very quiet, very private. He does not like to share anything. Obviously, he has a crush on Ruby, but we don't really know much about a sim. Like we don't know how he ended up in school and whatnot. But I like the sim. He stepped up when he needed to, and he helped fight the school. Ruby, same thing with a sim. We don't know much about her besides obviously what they said in her folder and learned how she ended up in the school. A very lovable character. I liked her. I thought she was funny, especially when Clementine reenacted her freaking out uh at the when AJ bit her. Just looking at some scenes here. Sorry guys, I got distracted. I'm looking at the definitive edition stuff. And next character is 10 or Tennessee. I didn't like him. He was more stupid than Ben. Like he would free like he had a chance to shoot Lily but froze. He had a chance to help fight the school, but he ended up getting Mitch killed. And like he would end up getting Lewis or Violet killed, whatever scenario you picked for the love story. But he didn't. It is what it is. And you get AJ to choose to either kill him or not. All right. So next one is James. So it's right here is the hard one with James because he is technically dead and don't know where if they're alive or not. I don't know, but great. This one, I'm gonna say dead slash alive because you get multiple options. You could get because you have to get his mask for a collectible in the game, right? So you get to choose either Lily kills him or you you kill Lily and he drops his mask. You have to like get like so many scenarios in order to get his mask. He either gives it to you or he drops it, leaves, and then you can pick it up afterwards. Omar, like Sim and Ruby, you don't know his backstory. Like you don't. He's very quiet. You don't know how he ended up at the school. He does have Lucky Rabbit's foot. Obviously, that doesn't really have much luck. So we don't really know what happened to him or how he ended up in the school. But all we can tell, he's a fan of cooking. He loves cooking. All it costs you is a little patience, which I do like. Next one, Lewis. I liked Lewis as a character. Obviously, he may be stupid, he may be dumb, but he showed that he cares. He cares about his friends. He cared about the group. He cared about Clementine and AJ. Obviously, he made a mistake by getting his parents to divorce. That's how he ended up in the school. But He wasn't a terrible character. Now, the last two characters I saved for last. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Clementine. I'm just fucking with you. She automatically goes in the A tier. My thing's freezing. Just give it a second. There we go. She obviously goes in the A tier because she grew up so well from what Lee and Kenny, Javier, and anybody else in this group showed her. She showed guidance to AJ. She helped AJ. She taught AJ things. She became Lee 2.0. Obviously, she got bit but didn't die like Lee. There's that conspiracy that when she got hit with the axe cut the blood flow from there through the bite. She was just fighting the bad infection. Do we know that for sure? We don't know. It's a conspiracy. It's out there. People can have those. But she did great. AJ. AJ was a very funny character. I loved AJ. I thought he was cute. He's a cute little kid in the game. He looks for Clementine for guidance because he doesn't have his parents anymore. He's like AJ, lost without parents. Obviously, AJ was born into that world and basically tried to survive without getting killed or bitten by walkers. But there you go, guys. There's my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, my tier list doesn't. Oh, I clicked on this stupid ad for fuck's sakes. Don't know why I did that. I thought I can get rid of it. Oh, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please like, want to see more, hit subscribe and hit notification for the live post video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.